Hello, it's Liam here. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm here today with the Digitakt II. I've gone over this in past videos about how the OG Digitakt is one of the best priced units on the market, if not the best priced, if you're into this sort of desktop gear. Even though I think it's, at this point, it's discontinued, they're still actually continuing to update it, apparently, according to my Discord. So if you were to argue that any unit beats the Digitakt II, I guess it would be the Digitakt OG. But the Digitakt II is, of course, better. It's a better unit. It's just extremely streamlined, and maybe because I've been using it for so long, for me, it just seems simple to use. And of course, it has like a facelift in comparison to the OG Digitakt. It's got a much more expansive mixer. There are 5 pages on the mixer. There's different filter types as well. My personal favorite is definitely the comb filter. I was definitely happy with 2 LFOs on the original Digitakt, but there's a third one there if you want to use it. There's much more sampling space. Your sampling pool is insanely huge. There's letters on top of numbers, so there's like 8 times more space there. More project space. You could also sample in stereo. And just having access to an elektron sequencer, that in itself, I think is the most valuable part of this unit, any elektron unit, but that in combination with all of the other things that the Digitakt II has to offer, it's hard to beat, especially when it comes down to a genre that really relies on a clever, like kind of a powerhouse sequencer, like, you guessed it, techno music. And so I'll be putting all those features to the test in this video. And then neatly off to the side here, we have an effects unit from Pioneer. This is the RMX 1000. It's such a simple unit. It's definitely my favorite effects unit because there's basically no menu diving. Everything is right there. You have this like bop it sort of effects selector here, and then you perform your effects in. If after watching you really end up liking the Digitakt II or the RMX 1000, consider using the affiliate links in the description of this video. Using those would be a great support to this channel. And of course, thank you to everyone who's already used the affiliate links in any of my past videos. So I've already entered in a kick pattern. Notice that we have 8 pages if we want, but I always keep things to 16 steps. I like everything to be on 1 page so I can always see the playhead. And that's when I like to step into trigger conditions. So let's say on step 9 here, I only want this to play the first out of 2 times. So now we have this like big gaping hole in the rhythm where we could add some other part, maybe on step 9 or close to step 9, to sort of set it up. Before doing that though, I'm gonna play with the filter on some of these. Maybe add another trigger here onto step 10 and really pull down that filter. Cool, and then same with this one too. I only want it to play on, let's say, the second of every 2 times. Cool, so now we have some interesting rhythms that are sort of suggestive as to what to program next. So let's see what we can do. That's a weird sound. Let's tune it down. In this little section down here where there's like some suggestions coming from the kick, what if we put that onto step 9? What does this do? Not really, so step 8. Definitely put a trigger on this, the second of 2 times. I have some longer samples down here as well. So there's like a snare thing, hi-hat, a rim thing. So let's actually put that on step 1. I actually know that this is a longer sample. It's from my latest sample pack, Techno Starters Volume 1, which is definitely the best sample pack that I've put out. It's a multi-track based sample pack. Here's an example of what it sounds like. If you like those sounds, there is a 25% discount on that sample pack in the description of this video. So that is on step 1. I'm going to change the trig condition to first of 4 times. I'm pretty sure that this is a long enough loop for that. Okay, what else do we have? This hi-hat. If this was a little bit slower, if we tune it down a bit. So put it there. Yeah, with some effects. Delay on that. We're gonna do a little trick here. We're gonna actually put a second trigger. Have this one play on the same step by pushing it through micro timing. I've pushed it to this step here. And I'll have this one play the first of 2 times. I use this trick all the time. It's one of my favorite tricks on the Digitakt. And have this one play the second out of 2 times. And so now we can sort of affect them differently, which is is exactly what I'm gonna do. Let's pull the delay off of this one. I wanna play with the comb filter on this voice, so let's actually go ahead and throw that in here. Comb filter. But there's a second filter, and on this step, I'm gonna pull that filter down. So going back to that filter, let's see what we could do here. Maybe some sample rate reduction. Ooh, that's cool. And of course, if we are playing with the comb filter, we might as well throw an LFO onto that. Let's play with the comb frequency, and we'll turn this to random. Okay, so we need some hi-hats now. We could either throw these in. Let's see what that sounds like. These are also from Techno Starters Volume 1. I mean, it works. What if we threw the comb filter onto a longer sample? Like, what would that do? Let's check this out. Yeah, okay. Because we have two high-end things that are both using the comb filter, I'm actually going to use the secondary filter on these hi-hats. So we could really cut those out and make sure on this one with the secondary filter, put a low pass there. So they're not in the way of each other. We could also pan these if we want. Let's put the secondary hi-hats, put those to the right a little bit. Next step, we're gonna add a bass. We're also gonna use a comb filter onto this. It might be too much comb filter, but we're gonna try it anyways to use it on something that's tonal, like this. We're gonna hit function page and then function yes, which brings up this page. What this does is it separates the step length per track. So for example, I'm on track 8. I want this to be, let's say 7 steps instead of 16, and you could actually see 7 steps right here. And so if I go back to my sequencer, let's say on step 1, right? So that pattern it sounds cool, that bass pattern, but it's repeating every, I think it's 16 steps. So it's not really an odd time. So what you could do is set the reset time. So we're gonna set that to 128, which I think is 8 bars, I believe. Right, so that odd time just keeps going. Keeps going. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3. That's where it resets. You really get to experience that 7 feel, right? So now what we could do to make this more interesting, instead of just, a regular bass note, one bass note, if we wanted to, we could of course make a melody out of it, but I'm actually gonna leave that melody to the comb filter. And it's gonna sound very atonal. Right, so now it's still one note. This is kind of cool though, I love this texture. Maybe add a little bit of delay to that. So now we're gonna head to the LFO to actually make a melody out of this. Make sure we're on the right channel here. We're going to mess with the comb frequency. Set this to random perhaps. Play around with the speed here. If we set the second LFO to change the LFO1 depth, and change this to random. What if the clap accentuated this bass line here, if you could call it that, a bass line? So we'll change this to a 14-step pattern, so twice 7. And let's see where we want to add this. And what if we sort of set that clap up? So add something before it, and then pull the filter down on this step. There we go. Maybe add another one here too and pull the filter down even lower there. To me, that's too much clap. So again, I'm gonna pull this, add a trig parameter, and it's gonna play the second of every 2 times. I'm gonna do that for all 3 of these. As you can see, really putting this sequencer to the test, we're just like throwing so much at it and it's got no issue. And because the comb filter is so sensitive. Like any little thing that I do to it. If we want different textures per note, again, what we can do is add a second note here, micro timing, and then same trick as before, have this one play the second time, and the first one play the first time. So let's do that. And this one, I'm going to change something on the comb filter. Maybe even change the note on this one. So if you could name another sequencer that could do all of these things, that has the strength of the Digitakt II, in the size of the Digitakt II, for the price of the Digitakt II, please let us all know in the comment section. I guess the one downfall is that everything is in such a small space that it's kind of hard to extract it all. You do have to menu dive quite a bit, which is why I think of this more of a production tool, or if you're going to be using it live in a much simpler way. And of course, the thing that's missing, in my opinion, are the effects, which is where the RMX 1000 comes in. And now, a word from today's sponsor, DistroKid. If you're watching this video, chances are that you'd like to officially release your music to all major streaming platforms. So first off, why choose DistroKid? They are hands down the most affordable music distribution platform in the game. We're talking like just over 20 bucks a year affordable to release unlimited music. And by the way, on top of that, I also have a discount for you linked in the description of this video. You collect 100% of your streaming royalties with DistroKid, another huge plus, and they're designed specifically for independent artists and producers. How, you may ask? Well, here's a list of tools that they offer that will help you with at least some of the heavy lifting when it comes to promoting your own music independently. For example, there's Hyperfollow, which is a free landing page that I've personally been using for years now across all of my social media. It's similar to a Linktree type of situation where you can lead people to specific pages or maybe different social medias. You can post video content, maybe a link to your latest single, and you can create an unlimited amount of landing pages at no extra cost. DistroKid also offers promo cards, another free tool that you could use to promote your music on social media. So many other features, and again, just over $20 a year. To me, it's a no-brainer. If you're looking for a music distributor, well, now you know where to go. Sign up using the discount linked in the description of this video.